I hate these guys. Like, I hate a few of them. Like, we have so much bad blood between the two cities, between the two teams, and like between the guys. Like, and you go to Chines, you're down 2-0. Like, what do you expect? Like, it's one of the hardest places to play in the league. So I like beers. So for me, that was when I first tasted the Pilsner from Tank. Honestly, I thought it was illegal. Like, it was gold or something, you know? Like, scores from 0.01 from behind the goal line, like a shitty play. Like, you know, of course, it's this guy scoring. Of course. If they don't win the cup, then they're the biggest losers. You know, because with that...
Dámy a pánové, vítám vás u další epizody hokejového podcastu Puk Pak Pivo. Tomáši, ahoj, vítám tě v horách.
Valdy, děkuji za přivítání a samozřejmě musíme poděkovat Pokoloko, který nás tady krásně pohostili, ubytovali a máme tu možnost tady točit naší první horskou tour a v takhle v létě je to moc příjemný.
A já se moc těším.
Tak to jsem rád, že se těšíš, ještě aby ne. Přátelé, Pokoloko, jukněte na jejich web, ubytujte se tady, protože má to styl, má to kulturu, stejně tak, jako mývají i naše epizody.
Samozřejmě tady je velmi dobré pivo a jsme kousek od Hradce a mě jako velmi milou povinností tady přivítat obránce Mountfieldu, Hradec HK, Jeremieho Blaina. Blaine, ahoj.
Ahoj, kluci.
Good Czech start.
Czech or English?
I would say Czech, but I think for all the English listeners, let's do English, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will introduce it also in Czech. Pro vás, kteří neovládáte angličtinu, můžete si pustit tady tu epizodu, která byla přeložená prostřednictvím programu AI, abyste si Blaina mohli vychutnat i v českém jazyce bez titulku. Takže je to na vás, na YouTube najdete obě dvě verze. My teďka přehodíme do angličtiny, aby to bylo trošičku plynulejší, aby jsme se taky něco dozvěděli.
Waldy, what's up? How you doing?
Well, this is really good question, you know. It was a tough night yesterday evening because we met this motherfucker. And
oh yeah, it's my fault, eh?
And then we went for like 17 kilometers hike, so my knees are completely destroyed. I think I'm gonna go directly to the hospital from here.
Yeah.
So for the surgery and make my knees again. But anyway, it was really nice, you know. It's been such a good performance, so what a day. And we're going to come to that. Hey, Jeremy, thank you very much for coming here, for joining us for the second time. I remember when we had the first episode, you were the player of Sparta Prague.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. A lot of things changed. And here we go. Level 2.
Thank you for having me, first of all. Second of all, thank you to Pokoloko. It's amazing. From the owner to the people working here, it's amazing. And it's a pleasure to be on, you know, since 2020. I think it was July 2020 that we were together last time. So you guys have grown so much since then. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be here.
We grew up. Sorry about it, but we still do same things. We cheers before the episode.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's have a cheer.
Cheers. Good to see you.
Cheers.
It's important. Have a good beer for this epi.
So, as you mentioned, you know, the time flies so fast. A lot of things happened. Since our last episode, you're still in Extraliga. So, as I would say, you're kind of the matador in this league. So, what changed in the Extraliga?
What changed?
It's been 3.5 years.
Yeah, it's been 3.5 years. What changed? I would say guys are getting fucking faster every year. Like it's the league is getting faster, better. I think that's a good thing. It's cool to see like the evolution of the league from my first year to now, where if you look at the quality of the players in the league and even like the way that the young Czech guys grow up, and also the quality of the guys coming in from Europe, from America, like if you look at the teams, the roster for the 2024 season this year, I don't know who's gonna, you know. It's hard to, it'd be really hard to put money on who's going to be top 4, let's say, you know, to be in the quarterfinals. So I think that changed. Other than that, I mean, the Pilsner is still the Pilsner, you know, the beer is still just as good. Czech is still Czech and everything is still the same, but the hockey is evolving and I think it's everywhere in the world, but the hockey is evolving here and I can see it, and you can see it from the Ivan Linka, you can see it from the under 20, you can see it from the World Championship, you know, like Czech is a country to be taken seriously, you know. And I don't know if it was always like that. I wasn't there before, but definitely now it's more and more, and you can see it, and it's nice to see. And I feel like living here for 7 years now, almost full time in the summer. Like I was proud, you know. Like in the last May when they won it, it's like a part of me won a little bit, you know, and it was kind of weird. I was sitting in a cab in Turkey, you know, coming home from a restaurant and had a couple glasses of wine, and I was fucking fist bumping in the car. And my girlfriend was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "We won the gold medal." She's like, "Canada lost."
Yeah, you were hitting Sedlak in a corner, so that's why we won.
Yeah.
Well, there's a limit of imports in Extraliga, right? But when you play for a long time, so do you still count as an import
No. For many years now, I think it's I don't know exactly the rule. I think it's maybe 3 years. 3 years if you're a non-Canadian, and if you're a Slovak player, it's 2 years. So we have a bunch of imports in Hradec, but we don't really have a bunch of imports because I don't
count as a Czech. So you're not count as an import.
No, I am Czech.
Okay, welcome.
Deal with it. Thank you.
It's gonna be tough to deal with it.
What a Czech guy, huh?
Well, you moved from Sparta to Hradec. During that time, we haven't heard you in that episode, but you still live in Prague.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah, you are very right.
So you love Prague?
I love Prague. I think that it took me probably 48 hours. In 2019 maybe it was when I first came, or 2018. It took me 48 hours, and there was a piece of me, or a part of my brain, or a part of my heart. I knew that I was in trouble. Like I knew that I was going to stay in Prague, you know, within 2 days, which never happened, even from home. Like, you know, I kind of wanted to find somewhere else to live. And when I first got to Prague from the airplane, 2 days later, I was like, this is going to be my home one day, you know, or, you know, Czech, but Prague especially, you know, because that's where I first played. That's where I first lived. But there was something about it. And I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but there was something about it that was just so appealing to me, you know.
What happened that you moved to Hradec? Because you were offensive defender, which is not enough in a hockey universe, not even in Extraliga. So what happened that you changed the team?
Well, there was a big management change in Sparta, right? So Michal Boroš was out, Linka and Tone came in, and then they fired Uwe, right? So when the new coaching staff came in, I think we just didn't really got along, like Jandac and stuff, and we didn't see eye to eye on many things. And I knew from then, because I had an offer, I had a contract, I signed the contract, I was going back, and then 2 days after the contract, Uwe got fired. So the GM got back to me and he's like, our owner still didn't sign the contract, so technically it's not valid. So
and you've already signed?
I had signed it. So like when they send you the contract, you first sign it, send it back to the team, GM signs it, owner signs it, and then it's valid, right? And then they send it to the league, they get it approved, and blah, blah, blah. And I did my part, and I was just, so in my head, it was a 1 year contract, so I was coming back for 1 year. I was happy, you know, I made a lot of friends in 2 years. I had my flat, I had my, you know, my little life. And 2 days after, our coach gets fired, and I'm like, okay, but I didn't think that it would matter, right? Because we had an agreement. And then basically it was it's like, oh, let's give it a couple of weeks, you know, like I think the coach wants to make the decision on who he wants as a team next season, which I understand, it's fair, you know, like he comes in, he wants to have his guys. And for some reason we didn't really see eye to eye. We didn't agree, and I think that was the breaking point. And then there was the season that we had, like, I think we had one winning streak, like 14 games, and then we lost 2 games, and then we won 15 or 16 games in a row. And it was after one of those games in Kladno, and I sat on the bus. And this was after I had the news that technically, like, okay, basically we're going to be waiting 2 weeks. So I knew what that meant, right? I knew that it was find yourself another team, you know, in a polite way. So I was like, okay, it doesn't, you know, it's not the end of the world. Like I've been changing teams, blah, blah, blah. And I sit on the bus after a game in Kladno, and it was a tight game. I think overtime or maybe like end of the third period, we scored and we came back and win. So it was like 15 games in a row. Guys were dancing naked in the room, just a couple beers on the bus. And then I just look at my phone, and the guy that I hated the most in the league, Radek Smoleňák, pops up on my phone. And you know, when someone sends you a message and you don't have the number, it says like his name, right? Like on WhatsApp, his contact, and I see Radek Smoleňák, and I click on it, and it's his face without his teeth, you know? And I'm like, oh, and I hated that guy. Because we played 2 years against each other, and we were always in after whistles, after everything. In the warm-ups, he would yell at me. Like my first game in Extraliga was in the O2 Arena, and Smoleňák was yelling at me in the warm-ups. My first ever game. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? You know, like, I'm just here for a good time. You know, there's 16,000 people. It's going to be fun. And he's yelling at me, go back to your country, blah, blah, blah. But he was doing his job, you know. Yeah, I played with him after, and he's a nice guy. But on the ice, I hated him. So he texted me, and he's like, hey, we need a defenseman for next year. Would you be willing to come to Hradec? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And it took maybe, I think, from this conversation, it took probably 48 hours, and I had 2-year deal with Hradec. So
Smoley did it.
So yeah, Smoley did it. So now he's an agent, which is kind of funny if you look in hindsight. But he kind of did my agent's job back then, so he was already prepared to be an agent.
Was there any moment like the Sparta show up later and they ask you to sign the contract?
No.
Or did they? Never ask again?
No, I think for some reason, whatever, you know, like some coaches, some players don't get along. I think that was one case where the coach knew he didn't want me on his team.
Okay.
So
good decision. So you moved to the Hradec, different team, different team, different style. And what was the biggest difference by the Sparta? Was it much like familiar team, the Hradec, like more family, or did you still see the business company there?
Yeah, I would say this is the main difference for me from a perspective of a player, right? Like you're looking at the dressing room, the cabin, you know, like that's what you play hockey for, you know, like you go in the morning, you have a coffee, watch the highlights, the Olympics right now, but like you just talk shit. You just talk for 20 minutes, and you have a coffee, and then you go up to the gym, you do your thing, you go on the ice, and after that you're sitting in the room for an hour with your skates on, just laughing. And that's what in Sparta, that's what I missed. I feel like that's what was missing for me. Don't get me wrong, there was a little bit of it, but in Hradec I felt like I was back in juniors, you know, in a professional team, which is hard to find, because when it becomes a job, then the egos come and all this. So I understand why it's harder to have team chemistry when it's professional hockey. But I really felt that when I came there, that was the first thing that struck me, was how, like, you know, it was, everyone was friends, everyone was friendly, everyone was close, like we were having so much fun every day, even though the season is long and you go through highs and lows, and it doesn't matter, you know. So it's easier to handle all of this when you're a team.
Sparta is an ambitious team. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that. You know, before every season, Sparta says we won the title. What changed in the team atmosphere in the locker room of Sparta and Hradec? Because Hradec is not that cup contender for every single season, or even the management doesn't say to the public and to the newspapers that we're gonna win the cup.
Well,
and do you feel that pressure by the citizens and fans?
No, fan pressure. No, I think that if you show up and you play hard, and you know they appreciate that. Like really, they see. I really like the people from Hradec. You know, it's from what I've read and what I've heard, it's second best city to live for a family in Czech Republic, and it is really that. When you live there, I was there for 4 years. You know, I had a flat there, and I got so close to so many people in the city, from the grocery store, from the DM, Rossmann, I knew everyone in the city because it's kind of a tight community. And as long as you show up and you have a smile and you have a positive attitude, and they're okay with that. So I wouldn't say I felt the pressure, but I understand what you're saying. You know, like I've read stuff that we are contending for like a
2 malý, 1 šnit. To byla jenom objednávka.
Ty piješ malý? Jo?
No, dneska jo. Omlouvám se.
It's so hard to record a podcast with 2 alcoholics. It's not easy.
For the English speaker, we do small beer just.
So yeah, no, but I understand what you mean. But I you know, there's no salary cap. There is no, so you're always going to have a little bit of disparity, right? So if you look at Pardubice this season, for example, when you sign Červenka and Smejkal and this and that, of course, like, you know, they are favorite. And Sparta signed Salomaki and this and like, we all know this. We're not stupid. But at the end of the day, who's winning at the end of the season, at the end of the playoffs? Like, who has been winning?
It's
Yeah, exactly. So there's only one winner. There's only one winner. Might as well put their name on the cup for the next 4 years again. And, you know, just play for fun, I guess. No, but it takes more than big names to win, right? So, and we saw it like a couple of years ago. We finished first in the league. Like, we had a tight team. We believed in ourselves, and we had a lot of changes, a lot of injuries, and we broke the record in the league until Pardubice broke it last year for the number of points in regular season, you know? So this is pretty amazing for a team like this with a little bit, not lower standards, but like a little bit lower budget. And like, we know where we are, but when you come to our rink, when you come to our place, you're never going to get out of there and be like, oh, it was easy tonight. You know? So I think that's our identity. And when we go on the road, then we bring this little bit of swagger, confidence with us. And you're always going to finish the game and be like, I hate these guys.
That's what I want to talk about, the history in Hradec. The season that you broke the record points during the regular season. Then came the playoffs. What happened? Because everyone expected, you know, Hradec will be contender to play the finals. And the first round, this is the really tough round, you know, for the team that broke the record for the most points during the regular season. So what was on your mind when you went to the series, the first series of the playoffs, and how was that series was going on? What happened in the team and in your heads?
It's funny because I this is my opinion, but my feeling was we were so confident going into that series, and for Boleslav should not have finished 10th. You know, they had a good team that season, and they just played like shit. And they had bad breaks, they had injuries, and they should have finished 6th or 5th, something like that. So we had a tough break, right? Because that year, instead of playing some other team, we played a team that didn't belong in the 10th place. So this is one thing.
Long break after regular season?
Yeah, and this is the other thing. There's two other things. This is one, it's hard, like they're playing emotional, like pre-playoffs, and they're ready, and they're grinding, they're fucking fighting, and Boleslav is Boleslav, you know? It's Brusleni club or something. Exactly.
Bruslavský klub.
Yeah, exactly. And
Skating club.
Exactly. And I feel sometimes like they have 7 guys on the ice, you know? Like, you know, they skate. So it's not an easy team to play against. And second thing also was the long break. But that's not an excuse, you know? It should work to our advantage. Like, we are rested, blah, blah, blah. But also, if you look at the shots and the scoring chance, we had 50 shots, 48, 47, and they had 16 every game. You know, and they would just score every time they had a good chance, and we couldn't score. It was the Slovenian goalie, I think.
Rochelle?
Yes, and he just played out of his mind. out of his mind, and our goalie got hurt, and so I think it's a little bit of bad luck, a little bit of there was 3 or 4 overtimes, but it was really hard for me. It was the first time in my life, or since I came to Europe, that I had a chance to win something, because with Sparta they canceled. When we had a good season, they canceled the playoffs because of COVID, and we were supposed to play Brno, the best. You cannot ask for better series, There's as much fight on the ice as is in the stands with the hooligans, there's police, there's everything. It's amazing. So it was my first time that I could actually, I felt like we had a chance to win something. And it was 5 games is 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. And I was on vacation. And I was like, oh. So.
Not this year, buddy.
Not this year.
Not this year, buddy.
Not this year, buddy.
We got another beer here.
Yeah. I got a water.
Děkuju.
Jeremy, have a water. We all have a beer.
Krásný.
Thank you very much. I'm a professional. I'm having the water. Okay, coach. Maťa?
Maťa, sorry about it.
1-2, water. Nepaliva.
So that was a tough year. That's 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A year ago, you guys made the final, right?
Yep.
This was absolutely different situation.
Exactly.
It was the final, but I would like to talk about the semi-final series.
Oh my God.
That was with the Vítkovice, right?
It was against Vítkovice.
Lakatos.
You won 3 games, first 3 games in the series. Then it was 3-3. So Vítkovice with a tremendous comeback. And then you played a game 7 and you played it in the overtime. What did you think about that before the game 7 when something like that happened? And how did you celebrate that win in the overtime, the game 7, when you were 3-0 up?
Well,
were you happy after that series?
After the 7th game, I had a feeling that we won the cup, right? We won the championship.
Okay.
Because you go from 3-0 and you're thinking already who we're gonna play in the finals, even though you're telling yourself it's not finished until it's finished.
Oh yeah, but if it's 3 up,
it's 3-0. There's no chance we're losing, and it was 3 games that we dominated them. There was 1 game we went to shootout, but we pushed the pace. We were controlling the game. Everything, and you felt so dominant, And Mueller and Bukart and Krieger, they were good all year, and they were invisible. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
We found a way to get in their head, and they found a way to be. Really, I thought that honestly, we could have. In my head, at one point, is if we play 15 games, we're gonna win 15. And then 4th game, we kind of, it's hard. You're at home. You can win it at home, and you have a long break. And I'm thinking, oh fuck, I don't want to play. Who do I want to play? Chinets, Pardubice, in the other semifinals. And I'm looking there. So 4th game, we kind of were sleeping a little bit. 5th game, we deserved to win. 6th game, we deserved to win, and we went to 5 overtimes or something crazy. The longest game in history of Extraliga. And this was Friday night, and we finished something like 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. And I went straight to the hospital, and there was 7 or 9 guys, something like this, that were sick. So all of us had fever. We were puking, shitting. It was bad, and we were trying to get some fluids, just vitamins and stuff, just to survive. And so after the game, I remember I was driving my car from the rink at 1:30 after losing in 5 overtime, and we lost. And Lakatos, the fucker, scored on the PK. We're on the PP, and I'm like, that's it. We get a PP for sure. We're scoring, But also at that point, the ice was so bad. Honestly, we could have played with no sticks, only skates. I just kicked the puck, and maybe we would have scored. It was so bad you couldn't make a pass. It was so hot. People, the whole stadium ran out of beers. It was sold out. People were falling asleep. It was such a weird. Imagine it's 5 periods. So you play 2 games plus another, and then at one point I'm like, which direction am I scoring? Because you're switching sides every period. And I'm like, I don't I'm looking where I'm going to sit on the bench. Where's the defense? Where's the offense? And so we get a PP, they get a penalty, and Lakatos scores on the PK, and he was on the PK for a minute 30. And then when he got that puck, he jumped, and he got on the breakaway, and he got so much speed within the first 5 meters. And I was like, fuck, this guy's Lance Armstrong. This guy's doping for sure, like, you know? and the irony in that is what happened after. But he goes on a breakaway and scores. And after the game, I remember I was like, oh. And the seventh game was Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock in Vitkovice, in Ostrava. So we played. We finished like 2 o'clock in the morning almost. And I got in my car and I was like, I need some vitamins because I had fever. Guys had fever. I couldn't eat, so I didn't eat for 4 days. Everyone lost 6-7 kilos, but we didn't say it. You know, no one said it because we didn't want the media to know. I don't know. It doesn't matter, I guess. But and then. I remember I was sitting on the hospital bed and it was 2:30 and I was dreaming about being on vacation in Turkey or something, you know? My body was so beat up. Me and McCormack just played 60 minutes. Like both of us beat the record for the longest ice time. And I was just sitting there and I was looking at my legs. And I was like, fuck, man, these legs need to go in one day, pretty much, you know? So we get on the bus the next day and we go to Vitkovice and I remember like, I hate the breakfast in this stupid hotel. Like we stayed there. I played with Sparta against Vitkovice in playoffs. I played so many games in Vitkovice. I feel like I played my life there. I feel like, you know, and so
me too.
Yeah. I am sorry for you, but so I remember that morning. I was like, the coach said, "Hey, don't need to come to the rink, you know." Just we had our meeting the night before, and everyone knew what we had to do, right? And there was no chance that we were going there for Game 7 and losing. There was no chance. In fact, this would be the biggest embarrassment, especially after the year before. So we went there, and the next day, he's like in the morning before the game, he's like, just do whatever you want, you know, get ready, just come to the rink, you know, enjoy the moment. It's gonna be nice, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be 10,000 people, you know, like, and who cares what happened. So I remember I rented a Koloběžka, like Lime, and I went to the city for nice.
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I went there the night before and didn't sleep. No, I went there in the morning with Ethan Werek, like this guy that we signed, this Canadian guy, and late in the season we signed him, and so he knew like a couple of breakfast places, and we went to this place called La Petite Dégustation or something like La Petite whatever, so this French restaurant, and I had just the most massive amount of food I've ever had before a game. I had like 6 eggs, bacon, ham, avocado, croissant. I had ginger juice, orange juice, and my body was like starving from everything that happened in the last week, right? And I started to feel better. And when I finished the food, I was sitting there and I felt like I was 400 kilos going for like a sumo contest, you know? But I had to go play Game 7 and I was like, oh my God, I fucked up. And then when the puck dropped, I remember when the puck dropped, like my legs just like reappeared. And like I think we hit the post 2 times in the first 2, 3, 4 minutes. We had 4 scoring chances, and I knew right then, I was like, we're not losing this game, you know? And then when we won, Ali scored, Ocula, and I lost my voice for like 4 days. I couldn't speak. I came home the next day and my girlfriend was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I yelled so much after that game. I thought we won. Like it was so emotional, from like the 5 overtimes to all the deception and like, you know, you're doubting yourself, to going there and be like, fuck, we did it.
And did you know already who's going to be your opponent in the final?
The night before Game 7, we were watching everyone. We were at dinner across the rink from Ostrava, the arena. That's comforting, whatever. So I was eating chicken and rice for the 700th time in 2 weeks, and everyone was watching like the live stream of Pardubice and Chinets, right? And Hika got a penalty shot with a second left, because the goalie from Chinets moved the net.
Hika had the penalties, right?
Yeah,
remember.
He had the penalty with 1 second left. And it was a 1-goal game. It was 2-1 or 3-2, whatever, right? And I was watching, and it's funny because there was a part of me. Well, first of all, we had to win Game 7. You know, we're not playing anyone right now. We're playing Vitkovice next day. But there was a part of me that wanted to play Pardubice so bad because I hate them. And then there was a part of me that was like, I hate them so much that I would rather play someone else, you know? Because at least you're more objective, you know, you're not thinking like, I want to kill this guy, I want to kill this guy, I want to kill this guy, I want to fucking hurt this guy, I want to hurt this guy. You're like, okay, let's play hockey, win a championship. So it was funny, and all of us were looking at each other, and no one knew who we wanted to win, you know? Like, everyone was looking at each other, like, when Hika didn't score, like, everyone was just like, I don't know. We have to play the team that just won, like, two titles three, whatever. They have, 9 in a row now? Fucking 15?
No, they have 5 in a row.
Yeah.
But it was a surprise, right? Back in the days when Třinec won that series, it was kind of the surprise.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what did you think? It's like, okay, it's a bigger chance to us to achieve the championship.
Yeah, but also the year before when we broke the record and stuff, Pardubice had a sick team, you know? They had a better team on paper than us, and we beat them, I think, 3 or 4 times out of 4. So I love playing there, and it's 20 minutes. So before the game, I'm sleeping in my bed. I'm getting ready at home. You know, like I'm making myself a nice coffee at home. I'm not on the road. I'm not at the hotel. I'm not. So there was a part, like I wasn't really scared of Pardubice. Even though I know they're a good team. But there's also this other side that you're like, fuck, Třinec knows how to win, right? Like they know. They have the guy.
They know.
They know. Like if
it's been a while now, they know it.
You're never gonna see that again in Czech Extraliga, in my opinion. You're never gonna see a dynasty like that with guys that are ready to sacrifice so much, you know?
Well, how about the year after? You know, actually, maybe we can keep it still at the finals. Třinec, you earned the game 7 against Vítkovice. You were in the final against Třinec, kind of the dynasty, you know. So, what did you expect from that series?
And they're ready to jump on the ice to go to Kovář and like celebrate. They're going to the finals. Finally, Sparta's going to the finals, right? No. Scores from 0.01 from behind the goal line, like a shitty play. Like, you know, of course it's this guy scoring. Of course. Of course.
It's good to have this team.
Did you believe that Třinec can beat Pardubice?
No.
No? Why?
If I had, I would bet my house, my car, my girlfriend.
What a bet, huh?
Okay.
And she's worth a lot to me, so I would bet I would bet everything that Pardubice would get it done. And I was, because, you know, if you look back, Růžička was hurt. Nestrašil
Jeřábek
was out. Nestrašil got hurt second game or third game, didn't play the rest or something like that. So like Pardubice was healthy. I think it just makes teams want to beat them even more. So they have everything to lose. And if they don't win the cup, then they're the biggest losers. You know, because with that team, if they don't win the cup, then there's no I like beers, so for me that was when I first tasted the Pilsner from Tank. I thought it was illegal, like it was gold or something, you know, like something I never tasted in my life. Like, this is not beer.